Okay, yeah.
Udah Bu, direkam.
Oh my God, it's not in color. Actually, this is in color, but wood here is not in color. Okay, give you another one. Please link. Okay, this link.
Akhirnya.
Why you are here?
Udah tuh Bu.
Okay.
Direkam ya.
Okay, Bismillah. So everyone, based on our where is it? Syllabus. Okay, based on our syllabus, we just discussed two topics only already. Okay, topic one is not discussed yet. Ini belum didiskusikan. And then this topic, second topic, this is about the suku. It's delivered by Dr. Roslina from Malaysia. And then this topic is not discussed yet. This is about the cryptocurrency versus the gold dinar. And this topic discussed with me in the class, we're talking about the mudarabah. What is mudarabah? And then the goodness from the mudarabah is as a niche product of Islamic banking. However, the mudarabah itself, there is a problem of mudarabah that is not favorite akad. And then this is discussed already by me. And then the theory will be discussed also today, how I work with this topic. Okay. And then another topic, next topic.
Belum bisa stream Bu.
Is it?
Iya.
Why you not saying it previously?
Aku juga tadi kaget Bu. Maaf. Maaf Bu.
Sorry.
Maaf.
Let me share first.
Enggak.
Dah?
Enggak.
Udah?
Entah berarti. Ini dah Bu, aku udah Bu. Ujungnya ya. Bela.
So in this syllabus, this is the fourth time. In this syllabus, we discuss already. We not discuss about the money. Does Islamic banking still contain riba or not? Right. So this not discussed yet. Maybe by Dr. Sandrego. I don't know. And then also this topic has been discussed by Dr. Roslina from Malaysia. And this topic not discussed yet. This is about the cryptocurrency versus gold dinar. And this topic had been discussed by me previously. We're talking about the mudarabah, and the goodness from the mudarabah is as a niche product. However, even though this is a niche product of Islamic banking, is not favorite yet. Why? Because this is very costly. Now, actually, one topic in this syllabus will be discussed twice. Why? Because we have long discussion. Okay. Now, in today, I will talk about how I approach this case by many approach. Let's say first maybe quantitative, and then second qualitative. Okay, how I deal with this topic. And then next, the topic about Islamic fintech. This is the business model and Sharia compliance, maybe also with the Dr. Sandrego. Dr. Sandrego is the Council Indonesia Juris Council MUI, yeah, Majelis Ulama Indonesia member, and also he is a member of DSN, Dewan Syariah Nasional. So the National Sharia Council. How I know him? He's my classmate actually. In the first degree and then the second degree, we are still in the same class. However, in the PhD, no, we don't have any. I mean, we not meet already. He stay in Bogor. I stay in Yogyakarta. So we not meet, but sometimes we met in the conference. Now, the sixth topic, this is about the halal economy and halal industry, and how I haven't contact my colleague. Actually, I would like to invite the expert on halal industry, but she's very busy. Later on, maybe I have to change another expert about the halal economy and halal industry, so that you should satisfied to discuss with her or him. Okay. And the last one, this is about the environmental and sustainable issues on Islamic economic perspective. Okay. Suppose this is enough. Another topic? No, finish. Okay. So the last one, this is about the this one. Okay. The environmental and sustainability issues. Maybe with me or another expert. I will invite because this is a bit deeper and also complicated because so many issues on this topic, environmental and sustainable issues. Okay, let me go back to the Mudharabah case and how I deal with this case. Okay. Okay. Let me come to the first paper. First paper, maybe you can back to the here. Oh, sorry. Here, this journal. This journal I do with my student, Abdul Fadil Rida, in 2016. Sorry. How many years ago? 9 years ago. Okay, this topic actually, we work in quantitative where we know that we introduce that Mudharabah is not favorit akad. Okay, Mudharabah is not favorit akad. However, this akad actually the niche product of Islamic banking. But however, this is not favorit. Now, we would like to measure and also prove whether this is favorit or not. And then we prove here based on our variables using the 95 respondents, and the variable is about the consumption, income, and also product and empathy, and also the profit sharing. Okay, we prove that in the long run, the concept of niche product, we would like to, what do you call it? Apa bisa diandalkan tuh? We would like to, no. Bisa diandalkan bahasa Inggrisnya apa? Hah? Cepetan. Oh my God, I forgot.
Loading.
Huh?
Loading.
Loading. Not loading.
Loading.
Loading. You know, he's an English tutor.
Yeah.
If you speak English in your style, we embrace it.
Ya, sorry.
Bisa diandalkan.
Produk yang tidak bisa.
Kok tidak bisa? Bisa.
Yang bisa.
Nggak usah produk, bisa diandalkan. Udah gitu aja. And then you typing with the two fingers only. 10 fingers should be. Reliable. Okay, reliable. So meaning to say, in the long run, okay, in the long run, Mudharabah would be reliable. Meaning to say, in the future, you can depend on the Mudharabah. However, in the short run, you cannot depend on this akad. It's proof already. How to prove? Okay, by approaching Okay, this literature review, so on and so forth. Okay, and then the reference that I most use is I sent already to you. Remember this book,
Oh,
this book. Okay, you can find. You borrow it.
yeah.
It's only one in the library.
Yeah.
When you borrow it, you cannot read. You know, so copy.
Okay.
Because this is very important. Yeah, this book is very important. I have one, but the old style. The old style is very still messy. Still, I mean, it's not old style. This is the first printing, and then this is, I mean, after the professors of Azhar Rusli revised and a bit nice lah. But previously it's not nice. I mean, the old style. And
The first
yeah,
edition.
I found here because why this book actually all his critics to the banking, Islamic banking, actually is Muslim bankers, famous Muslim bankers in Malaysia. He's my professor actually, and he criticized in the newspaper. You know, in Malaysia, critic is not easy because once you criticize the government or maybe you criticize the banking or the system in the Malaysia, you'll be jailed. You'll be in jail. However, his critics will be develop the banking system in Malaysia. So therefore, he collect all the critics for his writing in the newspaper and also in the journals put in this book. So that is why I use these critics. Ya, jadi kritik-kritiknya Profesor Azhar Rosli ini ada di buku sini. Nah, kritik-kritiknya terhadap mudharabah itu banyak sekali. Then that's I use in my paper. Okay, those critics can be proved actually quantitatively. Jadi untuk membuktikan kritik-kritik ini kita uji dengan kuantitatif. Finish. But when I prove it, when I test it in my research, yeah, this is proof. However, when I categorize it, I say this is in the long run, we can rely to mudharabah. However, in the short run, cannot. That is why mudharabah is not favorite. Now, maybe in the future, my student, or maybe you, or maybe another researcher, will be can improve, or maybe have to do another research that prove my word may be wrong. Then how to prove it? Do the research. Oke, jadi kalian bisa sebenarnya menggunakan topik ini lagi, judul ini lagi, untuk membuktikan bahwasannya riset saya mungkin di 2016 salah. In 2025, this is right, maybe. Atau maybe more wrong.
Pembaruan mungkin.
Yeah, this is what we call as your novelty.
Novel.
That's very important to get your novelty in a master degree because you have to find something. You have to find something and deliver and then promote your finding as your novelty. Okay, novelty should be not finding that's a huge finding. No, novelty meaning to say that previous research maybe have different to your research, current research. Oke, jadi novelty itu atau temuan dalam research nggak mesti harus wow. No, this is not wow effect. Ya, nggak ada wow variable here. In the novelty, dalam novelty, itu adalah temuan terbaru. Artinya kalau penelitian saya di 2016 itu membuktikan in the long run, mudharabah is not reliable, but however, after 10 years, the research, and then you do another research, new research, maybe you can prove, maybe in the short run can be reliable too. Maybe and in the long run justru nggak reliable misalnya. So you have to prove it. Ya, bisa dilakukan penelitian ulang lagi. Gitu. Okay. So I have to promote again this research. Okay. Quantitative ya. You know lah how to test the validity and then finally, you have to elaborate your finding and calculate and then explain everything. Okay, so the classical assumption, do a t-test, f-test, multicollinearity test, heteroscedasticity test, and then this is your finding. Okay, then this is the conclusion and recommendation. Goodbye. Finish. That's the quantitative, very easy. However, in qualitative, so this is my research on qualitative about the banking interest. A bit tough. Why? Because I have discussed using research, library research. I have to read a lot. I have to prove this statement compared to this statement, and then do another classification of the data from another reference, and then prove that here what the okay, here my abstract. Al-Qaradawi contribution to the development of contemporary Islamic economics, very profound, blah, 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 blah. Okay, for this purpose, the research attempt to shed the sunlight of selected contribution that he has made of the current discourse of the interest in banking system. In the connection of this, his conception and approach to the issue and problem contemporary Islamic economics are explored. It argues that Al-Qaradawi works on Islamic economic missed the empirical test to prove evidence that the strength of the reliability of the data theories and concept, particularly in the topic of zakat, property, oblong. Okay, this abstract actually, sorry, this research, I do part of my thesis research, my master degree. In my master degree research, this is talking about the Yusuf Al-Qaradawi contemporary issues on Islamic economic thought. So I use Yusuf Al-Qaradawi as a jurist. Okay, he has a contribution to the Islamic economic thought. So in economic thought, we need some insight from the, what do you call it? Apa namanya? Oh my God, what is it called? Philosophical word, a philosophical subject. Yeah, in the philosophical subject, in the philosophical of a jurist, have to contribute something to the economy. Remember Yusuf Al-Qaradawi's statement in 2000. He said what? Do boycott to the Israeli products. Why? Because we cannot fight with Israel. So what we do as a foreign citizen, so foreign citizen do nothing to the complex, the war of Pakistan, Palestine, and also Israel. Because why? This is both two countries. But what we have to contribute is boycott the American product and also Israeli products. Why? Because we know that American support Israeli, and then most product of American and Israeli by the bullet and killing the children in the Palestine. He said so. Okay. After that, American boycott Yusuf Al-Qaradawi, and then Al-Qaradawi cannot come to America. Okay. However, he said, no problem. I'm not visit America, but my word to the world, because he is jurist. Everyone listening to him. That is why when he delivered the sermon, in his sermon, ceramahnya ketika Yusuf Al-Qaradawi berceramah, he said so, dia mengatakan bahwasannya, okay, boycott produk-produk Amerika and Israel. You know what? Since 2000, people boycott the products of American and also Israeli. And what amazingly, the economy of America at that time go down. And also some product of Israeli like Protex and Gambler, you know, P&G and Nestle, and also what is another product, that very famous product. They have a loss in their business. That is why Yusuf Al-Qaradawi have to boycott by America. Now, when he talk about banking interest, actually, his sermon is nothing to another people. However, this book, because he write the book about the banking interest, very thin book. This is influenced the fatwa in Egypt at that time. He is Egyptian. However, he had to move to Doha, to the Qatar. Why? Because Egypt not allowed him to stay in Egypt anymore. Why? Because he's criticized the government. His critics very dangerous to Egypt. Jadi ketika dia mengkritik Mesir, Mesir marah, pemerintah Mesir marah. Karena kenapa? Berbahaya. Karena kenapa? Meruntuhkan kebijakan pemerintah. Apa yang terjadi? Because most the jurists in Egypt at that time, they agreed that banking interest and also deposit are haram. 2 days after, 2 days after, I don't want to mention, it's a very famous jurist also in Egypt, and he's the top people in Al-Azhar University. He's invited by the government. He's invited by the government. And then after that, since then, he delivered to the newspaper and also in the television. He said that Islam banking interest and also deposit, this is halal. No. He said, he not mentioned bank interest. He said deposit by is halal. And Qaradawi is very surprised. What? 2 days ago, we had meeting and delivered the fatwa that banking interest is haram.
Ada yang main ya.
He is invited by government. Then after 2 days, he mentioned in the television. So that is why Yusuf Al-Qaradawi said, okay, I have to write a book. Why? Because this will influence so much to the Muslims in the world, because he's a very important man. So that is why he write a book, and he mentioned about why banking interest is haram. You know what? Yusuf Al-Qaradawi says memorized Quran since 8 years ago. Since he was 8 years. However, he's go to Al-Azhar University for first degree, second degree, and also PhD in Sunnah. He's not take a major in Quran, but in Sunnah. So that is why he take one hadith. The hadith, this is talking about the question of Muslim to Rasulullah. Muslim asked Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, who is the man who akila riba? Who is eating the riba? Who is the siapa yang makan riba? Ya Rasulullah, siapa itu pemakan riba? And Rasulullah said, this is 5% included who eat riba, who give riba, who receive riba, who take a note of riba, and 2 witnesses. So that is why this hadith elaborate by Yusuf Al-Qaradawi by detail. And then how we eat riba, like first, who give riba? Who is the given riba given? I mean, who give the riba?
Ya yang nyetor uang sih Bu.
So if you put your deposit in the bank, so you are giving.
Nasabah itu.
Yeah, because why? Because your money would be revolve in the bank. The bank will revolve your money by giving credit to another people, and then people have to return the money plus interest. So this is what we call as a riba gift. not a give, who give riba. Okay, and then who is receive riba? Who take a credit from the from the banking. Jadi peminjam riba itu, peminjam uang itu adalah penerima riba. Tapi yang nabung itu kan uangnya diputar di bank. Dia uang diputar di bank itu kan menerima
bunga.
ya, karena
Iya.
ada pembagiannya. Ya kan, dikembalikan berikut dengan bunga. Makanya uang nambah kan ketika nyimpan di bank.
Malah tuh Bu, biaya admin Bu.
Tapi kan riba. Ya. And then the third, who take a note of riba, meaning to say who is work in the bank. Who working in the bank is including to the maintenance of electricity, who work as a apa namanya?
TF gitu Bu, apa?
Iya, semua lah.
Semua.
Cleaners, ya, cleaners, and also the guard security, the guard security. Yeah, and then two witnesses. Who are they? If you take a credit from the bank, have to sign you have to have a witness and then have to sign in the form. Who are they?
Not.
Legal, yeah, notariat, from the legal part and also from your family. So that is why that's very important things have to delivered by Yusuf Al-Qaradawi. This is what I put here. So, and I classify which one is the originally contribution of Yusuf Al-Qaradawi, which one is not. Because he used Quran, he also used Hadith, but the most important part, which one is his own contribution, like explanation about who is involved in the 5% who eat riba. He said this is including to the cleaners and also the guard. Apalagi, jadi yang termasuk orang-orang yang jadi satpam, yang jadi cleaner di bank itu adalah pemakan riba. There is my conclusion. Oh ya, the approach. Here also the approach. Ya, temuan saya itu adalah ketika dia menggunakan in-app maslahah konsep. This is his approach actually. How he deals with the concept of how to explore the hadith itself using maslahah. Okay, now in another paper, you'll see here in another paper, the topic is about murabaha. Usul approach for economic cases of Yusuf Al-Qaradawi. So, this is my thesis, and I put into several papers. Okay, now here, I choose the most important approach of Yusuf Al-Qaradawi. Here, how he approached to the case of murabaha. See, he used usul approach. I mentioned the word is usul approach. What is usul approach? This is the how Yusuf Al-Qaradawi take or understand the case 1 to the case 2 or the case 3. Okay, he used Quran actually and also Sunnah. Okay, and then within his understanding, because he read a lot of another jurist and another writing, okay, he memorized Quran and also tafsir. He also memorized hadith and also the syarah hadith. Okay, now he know how to approach the Quran and Sunnah. That is why he used this dalil and lafaz, hakikah, majas, how to figure with these things. Because, in usul fiqh, we use Quran and Sunnah, right? And we use maslahah and also istihsan, istishab, and so on and so forth. But the level of hadith itself become a problem to us if we don't understand how to understand. Okay, Yusuf Al-Qardawi. No, how I found these things, because this is not explained in his book. Because when I read his writing, his books, I found, how come he only said, this is Sarah. See, that is why how to get Sharih, because I'm not a Quranic student, right? I'm not Sunnah student. So that is why I'm economic student. In his book, he mentioned about Sharih. And then he also mentioned Sharih and Sahih. And he mentioned in one another book, he said, if the dalil is Sahih, so this is valid. And I said, Sahih? What does it mean? That is why I go back then to the Usul Fiqh. When I read again in Usul Fiqh, we will see that how to understand Quran, there were two ways, Qat'i and Zanni. Okay, Zanni subut wa tilalah, Zanni subut wa Qat'i tilalah, Qat'i subut wa Zanni tilalah, and Qat'i subut wa dilalah. What does it mean? In Quran, there were ayat. Once you read, you understand. Di dalam Quran, ada ayat yang bisa sekali dibaca, kita paham. Like this. If you read Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, you have to understand well, right? What is Bismillah? In the name of Allah. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, you have to translate. Not only translation, but also you have to know what is Ar-Rahman, what is Ar-Rahim. But let me read this Quran. Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu, kutiba alaikumusiyam, kama kutiba alal ladzina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. Understand? Wahai orang-orang yang beriman, diwajibkan kepada kamu berpuasa di bulan Ramadan. Mention clearly. Is it wajib puasa di bulan Ramadan, not in another month, only in Ramadan. So very clear. So that is we call as qat'iyyu subut wa dilala, as letterlux and also unletterlux. So maybe letterlux you understand as a word, but implicitly you also understand what does it mean. Only in Ramadan, like what you previously do. La'allakum tattaqun. Orang yang beriman dulu melakukannya. Rasulullah and his companions, they fasting in the Ramadan, right? Only in Ramadan, wajib.
Yeah.
There is no wajib fasting in another month. If you do it, meaning to say this is bid'ah. Is it? So that's very clear. Nggak ada puasa selain Ramadan yang wajib.
30 hari kan, Bu?
Iya, wajib. Kutiba is mean wajib. Oh, you have to. However, and another fasting they were fasting in another month, but this is not wajib. This is sunnah. Okay, so what they mention in the Quran, this is qat'iyyu subut wa dilalah. There is no implicitly meaning. This is clearly meaning. Okay, so that is what this is sarh. But sahih, the stage. That is why I put the sign is like this. The most top one is in the below. The most top one, like a pyramid. You know, pyramid. This is a upward pyramid, right? You are sleeping. To maintain the sleep, we have to sleep now. Okay, now let me continue. Okay,
Your spirit.
Actually, there were also another ijtihad he do. He always mentioned about ibaratun nas. What is ibaratun nas? I'm not looking for what is ibaratun nas. That is why I found here, oh, ibaratun nas is part of the ijtihad. So in the ijtihad, so many level of ijtihad, and then this is what we call as dalalah. Dalalah is science method. So not science, okay? Sign, S-I-N-G, sign. Okay, sign method. So the sign method itself is established hukum in Islam. Okay, now there were also level for this one, for ijtihad. The level, the highest level, this is muhkam. Yeah, I don't understand at that time, so that is why I learned this method. At that time, that is why this is what we do in research. You know, you not read only once. No, you have to read many times to understand the concept. So this is the method. So this is why the methodology in research is very important, because if you found something from the methodology, meaning to say you contribute more to the knowledge. This is a high level of finding or high level of novelty when you contribute methodology to the system, to the knowledge. Ya, jadi apa namanya, novelty yang paling hebat itu adalah ketika kita, bukan paling hebat ya, novelty paling tinggi adalah kalau kita bisa memberikan kontribusi kepada metodologi di dalam pengetahuan, kayak gitu. Karena nggak semua orang bisa memberikan temuan kepada metodologi. Okay, not everyone can contribute to the methodology unless they do something that found something that people can use this methodology in the future. So using this finding, people will use it for their another research later on. So that is why I go to these things, because I know in the hadith there were classification. How many hadith we have? Hadith mutawatir, the highest level, and then hadith ahad. And then also based on the quality, there were hadith mutawatir and ahad divided into sahih, hasan, and da'if. But mutawatir would be qat'i. Mutawatir highest level, harus qat'i kan? Nah, qat'i itu terbagi menjadi 3, lafzi, maknawi, and amali. And Yusuf Al-Qardawi what say? No need to come to the highest level. Hadith we can use if we can use the sahih one. This is enough. Jadi Yusuf Al-Qardawi, when he do the ijtihad, he said, no need to find hadith mutawatir, but if you find the hadith sahih, this is enough. You can use and proceed your research. That's the finding to me. Because why? Because as a common people like me, I'm not the Quranic student, I'm not hadith student, I'm economic student. When I used to the hadith, when I come to the hadith, I said, I'm confused. Because why? Which hadith can use? But based on this research, I found that statement, hadith sahih li zatihi and hadith li ghairihi can be used as a research. Why? Because I can link here to the previous one. Because Yusuf Al-Qardawi said, qat'iyu subut wa dilala, zoniyu subut wa dilala, qat'iyu subut wa dilala, and qat'iyu subut. This is can link to the sahih one. That is why I found final research, and I developed this finding as my novelty. What is it? I said Yusuf Al-Qardawi using a method of wasatiyah. Why? Because to say that sahihus subut wa sarihud dilala, when he come to the case of murabaha, in the case of murabaha, he mentioned in his book, sahihus subut wa sarihud dilala. When I asked student of hadith and also student of Quran, they cannot answer me.
Hmm.
He said, Sahih Subut wa Dilala, it's okay, but Subut wa Sahih wa Dilala, what is it? See, Qardawi said, Qardawi mentioned in his book, but how to explain, they cannot do it. Why I said that Yusuf Al-Qardawi used a moderate approach to his case, in economic case, because he used both. See, this is what we call as a traditional approach. This is a traditional approach. This is modern approach. So Yusuf Al-Qardawi use both modern and traditional approach when he come to the modern case. So that is why he always in the middle. He always in the moderate jurist, as a moderate jurist. Ya, Yusuf Al-Qardawi itu ternyata dia menggunakan tadi itu ketemunya di mana? Ini kan traditional approach nih. This is a traditional approach. This is a modern approach. This is a modern approach. Okay, this is modern approach. This is traditional approach. But he is mid here, and also mid here. So that is why he combined traditional and modern approach. That is why he is a wasatiyah jurist. Orang yang selalu di tengah, moderate sekali. Ya, Yusuf Qardawi said that in the word of Al-Bay, the word of Al-Bay, this is sale, in the verse of wa ahallallahu al-bay'ah indicates that permissible all types of the sales, except those Quran and Sunnah has prohibited with an unalterably fixed evidence that no subject to abrogation or persistence or unequivocal text nas muhkam la shibhata. That's where this is my, what you call it, I spent one semester to prove this one only. That's very tough to me. And then, because of to prove his finding, Yusuf Al-Qardawi's finding, and then I proved that he is wasatiyah jurist. Now I know that, okay, how to develop Islamic economic using usul approach. So that is why I have to review again usul fiqh. And then this is new case. Now when I deal with a new case, and then this is a traditional one, I meet like Yusuf Al-Qardawi in the middle. So in wasatiyah. However, when something like people say, okay, this is halal, but in the Quran say this is haram, or in the Hadith say haram, I'm not becoming soft. I'm still rely to the Quran and Sunnah. And then I say, sorry, once this is say haram, like cryptocurrency. Even though people say, okay, maybe Bitcoin is halal, mubah. Bitcoin is mubah, and then NTF and Bitcoin is no, Bitcoin is mubah and NTF is halal. I said no, both are haram because why? Close to the gharar.
Oh, jadi
Uncertainty.
semua pengalaman itu juga bagi koin itu punya haram semua.
No, I said no, say like that. We have to know why this is called haram, why this is called mubah, why this is called uncertainty. Because Bitcoin, this is unreal. Where's the money?
Oh, berarti gambling ya, Bu?
Of course.
Oh, berarti
Because why in the hadith mentioned that money should be yadan biyadin, cash.
oh, berarti harus real ya, nampak.
Yeah, say I'm go to deposit my money. I'm going to the bank and then I deposit my money. Where's my money? In the bank.
In the bank.
But actually, do I have money?
Yeah. Yeah.
When I come first to the bank, right?
Yeah.
Meaning to say I have money, but I put in the bank. Even though I'm doing a transaction in the digital platform, still I have money, right? Using my money. Meaning to say I have money. So this is real.
Oh.
But the cryptocurrency don't have money.
Gambling.
Let's say, okay, in the first time, your capital is 1 million. But after that, when you trading, suddenly your money become 1 billion. Where's your money?
Di sistemnya gambling apa?
In the system.
Tak nampak.
Okay, let's say rush. You know rush? Meaning to say, no, rush to you would like to withdraw your money, cryptocurrency. Sorry, you would like to withdraw your crypto. Let's say at the first time I'm invest 1 million, you 1 million and you 1 million, and then after 1 year our money become 1 billion each us. 1 billion, 1 billion, 1 billion. And then I withdraw 1 billion, you withdraw 1 billion. What happened to the cryptocurrency? Bankrupt. Because money is nothing at the time. They not provide money because the money doesn't exist. This is what happened to the riba. This is what happened to the interest, because the interest exists in accounting only. But in the real, there is no. That is why bank will bankrupt. Because bank will not create another money. Bank only create another money in the accounting. In the calculation, yes, there is a interest. But when government print money, how much they print money? That's the exist money in the world. Interesting, right? Stop. Question? Sampai di sini?
Emang apa udah ada jurnal penelitiannya tentang kripto itu?
Banyak. Tapi bukan kripto yang untuk trading ya. Kalau jurnal untuk kripto trading banyak banget. Tapi yang bilang haram.
Ya itu.
Ada.
Haram. Apa tuh namanya?
No. You just I'm not.
Saya penasaran sekali sama. Saya pengen join tapi saya tak.
Si cryptocurrency halal.
Oh, belum. Simpel lah nantinya ya. Saya nggak dapat.
Investasi kripto dalam Islam halal atau haram? Maksudnya di sisi bahasa. Apakah Bitcoin haram? Okay, let me use in English. Does see argument? Oh no. If you would like this, PPT, PDF, put PDF. See? Oh, sorry. Concept of cryptocurrency in Islam. Okay. A halal cryptocurrency model under the Makosid. This is what they would like to do. They would like to make something haram become halal. Let's say this is pork. Lard. You know pork? Babi?
Yeah.
In bahasa, babi. Baby. This is babi. Babi is pork. Okay. Let's say this is, this is pork, but you would like to say that this pork is become a halal pork. Can you do it? Yeah, but no, this is food made from pork. The label is haram, right? Now you would like the label change to become halal pork. There is no halal. But pork is halal when you are in the emergency one. Daruriyat. Darurah. Okay. So in the emergency, okay. But cryptocurrency in the emergency, is it the emergency money? See, let's say cryptocurrency in the perspective of Maqasidus Sharia. What do you think first? In Maqasidus Sharia, we know something that their level, Daruriyat, Hajiyat, and Tahsiniyat. Okay? What does it mean? In Daruriyat case, yeah, become halal. But in not Daruriyat case, this is not haram, not halal. Okay? Why? We have to maintain 5 things. We have to maintain our religion, Hibzuddin. We have to maintain our
Brain,
Uh,
akal.
we have keep hifzul akal and then hifzul nafas.
Nah,
We have to maintain our body, and then we have to maintain our progeny, keturunan,
turunan
and then we have to maintain our wealth, harta.
akal.
So we have to keep these five, but based on three level, daruriyat, hajiyat, and tahsiniyat. But in tahsiniyat, you don't need to make it halal something haram. Membuat jangan pernah menghalalkan sesuatu yang haram, dosa. Udah jelas-jelas haram, dihalalkan. Nah itu bahaya ya. And then see legal view on buying and selling Bitcoin. See, now let me show you something here. Cryptocurrency fatwa cryptocurrency DSN. Number 144 2021. Haram menggunakan cryptocurrency sebagai alat tukar. This is haram to use cryptocurrency as a medium of interest. Because why? There is no money. Because why? Because unsur gharar, maisir, and darar. Because this is included three things. Gharar, maisir, speculation, and darar. This is loss. Why? Because this fatwa is not fully put haram status to cryptocurrency as a digital commodity. They not announce this is a haram digital commodity. Because why? Because they knew that there is no intrinsic value on this money. Okay, what is intrinsic value?
Nilai yang
Ada nilai di dalamnya.
nilainya.
Okay, let's see. Where is your money? Show me. Okay, no, only enough. That's money.
Dan
Ini aja. Okay, 2,000 rupiah. What is the intrinsic value?
2.000.
2,000. So with 2,000 you can buy what? Something. Okay. Now, can I?
Oke, misalnya kan bisa.
Can I?
Jangan.
So let's say I broke it. Can you buy something?
Bisa kalau mama
No, can I break it?
50%. Tapi kalau orang lain nggak bisa.
And then I burn it. Can I?
Bisa.
So there is no intrinsic value. But actually, this is their intrinsic value. Now gold. Let's say gold. Gold as a commodity, right? Gold has a intrinsic value. Because why? We can use as a medium of exchange. But this currency, there is no exists in the world. How to exchange? The money is only exists in the digital. That is what we call as speculation. You know, there is a rule in a cryptocurrency, you cannot withdraw before something value. You cannot withdraw it. Because why? Because not exists. Let's say you cannot withdraw 2 million at one time. Because the money is not exist.
So to buy anything with
Yeah, this is possible. Or maybe you can withdraw in the low amount.
so that means, don't you think it's like step ahead to modern life?
Yes, that is why what Indonesia will create. Now we are create what we call as digital money. Oh my God, digital bank and digital. So meaning to say what? All your currents, all your saving, all your transaction, all your tax and so on and so forth, they can maintain from one system.
Ini
Ridwan.
ya. Ada kode ini.
Hah?
Barcode ya, kode ya. Kode ya.
Everything. Unless you use your money to buy gold and you save your gold in your home, in your house. So government cannot maintain your account. Because why? Because your asset put in your house. So they cannot see it. Once you put in the system, they can maintain it. Or maybe you criticize government like Kordawi. Like Yusuf Al-Qaradawi, you criticize government and they said, who is guy? Oh, Ridwan. Okay, you will die. Because why? Because all the system they will. And then suddenly, let's say you support you support Israeli by using your money. They just put here and put here, move here and then move there. See how to kill people using that system. Very dangerous. You would like to move to Uzbekistan? Maybe.
Good.
Put him in this Tashkent.
Very good.
See. What is underlying assets? Yeah, underlying assets. Bahasa Indonesianya aset dasar. Let's say you have a trading in the bond market. Okay. If you don't have underlying asset, they cannot proceed and then say this is halal. Why? Because this is what we call as a gamble. Masih judi bentuknya. Because why? Because you don't have underlying asset. Unless you have underlying assets. Let's say, I would like to sell my bond and then people will buy my bond. Okay? So, and then I show to the people, okay, this is my bond. This is about the the coal mining in Kalimantan. You know coal mining? Coal. Okay. Tambang batu bara di Kalimantan. This is my certificate. This is my own, what do you call it? Own certificate about my possessing to the underlying asset. So this is what we call as underlying. So people will, okay, people will will buy my ownership. Okay, people will buy my ownership because I would like to sell it in the bond market. So I show to them. Because why? Because this is impossible to bring along my gold, sorry, not gold, coal mining to the Jakarta. Okay, so I just bring along my certificate. This is my ownership. So this is what we call as the underlying assets. So every asset with underlying asset, sorry, every bond with underlying asset is called as a halal. Okay, so here you don't have underlying asset to have a cryptocurrency. Let me discuss more in cryptocurrency next, yeah, because this is oh, we have 29 minutes again. Any questions?
Menarik sebenarnya Bu. Terus,
Not menarik, we discuss.
oh,
Oh, because this is our topic. You know, menarik? This is interesting, he said. And I said, yeah, should be. Because why? Because this is our topic. Nih, keputusan nih, Majelis Ulama Indonesia Juris Council. Dr. Sandrigo will maybe, if you would like to ask him about the fatwa, he would like explain about this. Yeah. Shit. Shoot. They draw this money, but the money is not exist. Yeah, look, this is made from gold, this is made from silver, but actually there is no Bitcoin. You know, first time they launched this in 2008, I think, wow, there is new money compete with gold dinar money. Because gold dinar, I have gold dinar. So that is why I can show it, because this is made from gold and also silver. And also dirham I have. Usually I bring to the class, but I'm not bring to the class now. Why bring gold everywhere? When they appear, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. Wow, I said there is another money from US. I don't know. This is from Japan actually. I mean, made by Japanese, but actually it's launched in America. So I said, wow, there's a new money made from gold. And I said, I don't understand. What does it mean? Because they will mine, buy, they're trading, but the money is not exist. Suspicious. This is new money in the new economy. See? Oh yeah, there's my student, my undergraduate student. He would like to write his thesis about the cryptocurrency. And I asked to him why he would like to write about cryptocurrency. He said, this is a new money and very interesting, ma'am. Okay, very interesting. May I ask you, are you invest in cryptocurrency? Yes, I'm the member, he said. Okay, easy to you to get data, right? Easy to him to get data because he is in the group of WhatsApp group in Indonesia, you know. And then I said, may I know how much you invest first? Okay, I invest first actually only 1 million. However, my parents support me when I show them that I got profit after 1 million, then become 2 million. And then his parent invest until 5 million then. And then I said to him, may I know your balance? And he said, okay, only for you. 300 million. What? I said, 300 million in one time. And I said, how many times you withdraw? And he said, I withdraw maybe 3 times. How much? 5 million, 5 million, and 5 million, meaning to say until now I withdraw 15 million. See, he cannot withdraw all the 300 million at a time. Because why? Because only certain numbers withdraw 5 million. And then I said, okay, if you would like to continue this thesis, you can write about the cryptocurrency, but I'm as a supervisor, not involved in your sale. Okay, we have agreed first. Why, ma'am? Because you know I'm teaching you about cryptocurrency. I just let you know about the cryptocurrency, but I'm not suggest you to invest in cryptocurrency. You know the laws of for Muslim for invest in cryptocurrency, right? Yes, ma'am. And then what to do? Okay, we sign. I'm not involved in your sin. Oh, see?
But what do you think one day if they can withdraw all of the money, or they will be richest person?
You know what? If you asking the true businessman, we have a famous businessman in Indonesia. His name is Sandiaga Uno, because why he is also at the time candidate of one vice president in Indonesia. And someone asking him in the television, Mr. Uno, why you not invest your okay? You are a famous businessman. Do you invest your money in the cryptocurrency? He said no. Why? He said what? I'm businessman. I'm the real person. So I'm not involved in unreal something. Something unreal, he said. And then another guy also asking another person, very famous person. He's Chinese. You know, Chinese, very rich person in Indonesia. And then he also said, I'm not old man, but yes, I'm old man, but yes, I'm still young in my mind, he said. However, I will not invest in cryptocurrency. Why? Because this is only something that will make you lose everything in the future. You know, one of the public figure, Kiki Saputri.
Apa?
You know her?
Oh.
Is a public figure in Indonesia. He mentioned in one night only, he lost 20 billion. but no one know that she is invest in cryptocurrency. But after loss, she announced. She said in one night, I lost 20 billion. I said, what? 20 billion?
Wow.
Yeah, easy to her. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
she's shocked. She's shocked because she invests with her money at the first. And suddenly she lost 20 billion, but she said, this is my fault. And then since then, she would like to increase again. Why? Because, yeah, this is unreal. When she lost, nothing to lose. Right?
And also there is maybe positive way because the people I would say establish this program. I think they had some purpose. Maybe they are trying to make it. For example, nowadays it's really expensive, and maybe in future there will be a chance to withdraw all money. Maybe they have some plans, and we don't.
Yeah, this is what we call as no, in 2008, what happened? There are crisis in America, in US. Why crisis?
Mm.
This is severe financial crisis in America because of the interest. What does it mean? If I hello, oh yeah, you're still here. Let me explain you something. Ada pertanyaan, mungkin kata si Anwar, kenapa orang berinvestasi di cryptocurrency? Karena dia mungkin ya dia ingin berinvestasi karena pengen mendapatkan something gain in the future, right? Okay. Now, kenapa cryptocurrency ada? Because US at that time has a what is it?
Sandung lagi.
Itu aman.
Itu aja. Intinya
Ini mati. Tahu deh. Kayak bingung. Udah. Iya, ini sandung
Oke. Kan gini, gimana nggak kesandung saya harus. Oke, kan dulu di 2008 itu Bitcoin keluar. Oke, first Bitcoin launch. But in 2000, which launched? Gold dinar. Gold dinar and silver dirham. Okay, when it's launched, boom in the world. Why? Because OIC countries have agreed we can trading using this currency, So we develop what we call as a mine dinar mint. What is dinar mint? Dinar mint is the mine of how to write mine. Mining. This is the gold mine in the world. Okay, gold mine meaning we mine the. Let's say this is like mine, but actually this is only of this. So in the OIC country like Iran boycott by America at that time, right? This is Malaysia. Kelihatan nggak? Kelihatan. This is Malaysia. Okay, Malaysia has Proton. What is Proton? Car made by national car. Okay, Proton made by Malaysia. Then because of Iran boycott by America, so Iran would like to buy Proton from Malaysia because Iran cannot buy a car from another country because another country they have what the group of American group
GA.
No. NATO. So every country in NATO will not transaction to Iran. So Iran will pay this money. What is the currency of Iran?
What? Do you know? How?
Cari mata uangan.
Real.
Okay.
Real Iran.
Real. Real.
Real.
Real.
Real Iran.
Okay, Iran Real. Okay, Real of Iran. So Iran pay to not yet. Iran pay to the dinar mint using Real. Okay, and then he said would like to buy Proton. Malaysia send car to Iran. Okay, and then dinar mint sent to Malaysia with ringgit. Why not direct to Malaysia with ringgit? No, because Iran pay Real in the standard of dinar. Means standard dinar and dirham. Because why? Previously, under QBay, we have a standard. What is our standard? Dollar. So when we transaction, we use dollar standard. But before 1930, we use standard of gold, right? 1930. Why before 1930? Because since 1930, why I'm like this? 1930, they have a Bretton Woods agreement. Yeah, Bretton Woods, no, Bretton Woods agreement. This is nama kampung. This is a place, name of place in the US. The village name is Bretton Woods. So in the Bretton Woods agreement, actually the agreement is not. I mean, not intent. They not have an intent to make Bretton Woods agreement because they are invited to come here. Okay, but suddenly US would like to make their dollar become a standard of the world. But here previously we use a gold standard, right? Gold standard. However, at that time, pound sterling is higher than a dollar. So America would like become what we call it superpower country. So they would like to make the dollar become standard. How? They invite several countries which depend on the dollar and depend on the US. So they sign this agreement. And the agreement, since then, our money standard is dollar. What about pound sterling? Until today, they still make a gold standard as standard, money standard. Yeah, they not use dollar as standard. That is why pound sterling is higher currency in the world. Yeah, you change a rupiah to pound sterling, it's around 30, 40 million, 40 million, 40,000. Dollar today is 17.
Pound ya, pound sterling ya.
Pound sterling.
Pound sterling ke rupiah. 2184.
22,000.
Saya pernah dengar apa ya namanya?
This one 16. This is strong than this one, right? Because the standard is gold. But our standard is dollar. That is why when we make a dinar and dirham as a standard, the exchange is more stable and viable. Okay, stable meaning to say if this gold price increases, not like this, but increases in within 10 years, like this.
Oh, pelan ya.
Within 10 years mostly, and then also decrease within 10 years slowly. That is why the price is more stable, but not here. Once you make an issue, the price is increasing. Now back to here, back to 2008. From 2000 and 2008, meaning to say 8 years for gold dinar is become a hot issue in the world. Suddenly they launched the Bitcoin.
Oh,
Why? Because
Bandingan
at that time they have a crisis. We call mortgage crisis. Mortgage crisis. Mortgage. How to write mortgage? Yeah, mortgage. What is mortgage? Mortgage is actually a house credit. Okay, housing credit. What is housing credit? Housing credit. What is housing credit? You would like to buy a house, you would take a credit in the bank. You would like to have a house, take a credit in the bank. And then because the interest is high, you cannot pay. So you said, okay, take it.
Oh,
This is my money, just take it.
terus yang bayar ya.
Don't want to continue because this is a problem to them because housing market also sell in the bond market. They sell the mortgage in the bond market and also insurance. So that is why country will collapse because all of them has high interest rate. So that is why people cannot pay it anymore. Okay. So when the crisis, what happened when it is happened crisis? Problem solving for the crisis?
Bitcoin.
No, print money.
Oh, tenang dulu ya.
Okay. So that is why you will notice that the country, when they print new money, meaning to say they are poor, like our today. After this year, next year, we will launch new money because this will experience of redenomination. Redenomination. What is redenomination? Is we will erase this 3 0, become 2 rupiah. Meaning to say, we have to print another money, right?
Oh,
Can you imagine how many money we have? 9 money. 100 million, 27 million, 50 million, 100,000, 27,000, 50,000, 20,000, 10,000, 5,000, 2,000, 1,000. That's the fiat.
ya.
What coin? We have 1,000, we have
200, 500,
500,
sama 1000.
200,
200 ada?
100,
100,
50 ada nggak?
Enggak ada.
Nggak ada lagi. So we have 13.
1000 yang koin tuh, Bu.
Oh iya, ya udah tadi kan udah 1000 disebut.
Tapi ini 1000 yang
We have 13 money, meaning to say, can you imagine? Print money.
Yeah.
Okay, you announce you will print money, meaning to say you announce to the world that your country poor. So America will not. They don't want to mention that they are poor at that time, but actually everyone knows they have a mortgage crisis at that time. So that is why they print another money. They launch Bitcoin. However, this is not solution actually, but at that time they also hate to the Islam, right? They hate mostly US or Israel. So they have teamwork with the Israel. So that is why they have to fight Muslim. This is one kind of how to fight Muslim. Compete with the gold and silver dirham. And then since then, you know what? In Indonesia, we have new president, right? In 2009, Jokowi. And then Jokowi said there is no currency except rupiah. So since then, we cannot invest in this money. We put only in the in house. Maybe we can use this one as a mahar. We cannot use as a medium of transaction. We can use as an investment. We cannot put as a transaction. Because why? In Indonesia will only have one currency, rupiah, not another currency. So we cannot use it. What about Bitcoin then? Okay, Bitcoin, you know, you invest in Bitcoin. Now, if you invest in Bitcoin, they will give you token. So that's very different, very dangerous token if you forget the password. Because why? Because government will cannot detect your money, your currency, if you don't have any, what is it? Tadi kan I said to you kan, bahwasannya pemerintah itu kita akan melaunching namanya digital money, digital bank. Berarti kan uang kita akan terdetek semua ya kan? Sorry, digital payment namanya.
Nanti dapat kodenya.
Iya. So semua digital payment itu akan kelihatan aset-aset kita, transaksi kita kemanapun kelihatan. Oke? Kenapa sih kalian ini?
Gila, mau.
Hilma, ini anak dua nih loh, Hilma. Nggak tahu saya. Apa ini? Kamu mesti datang ke sini nih, mereka nih ngaco semua. Udah stres semua mereka. Okay, 5 more minutes. Okay, your question, I have to answer your question. This is all of answer of your questions.
Yeah.
That is why you have to read this one. This is a long story about the Bretton Woods.
That was a huge mistake.
Huh?
That was a huge
Yes.
mistake.
Since then we depend on America, you know.
Yeah.
Since then we depend on America because our new generation, especially Z generation, they love to invest in Bitcoin and also cryptocurrency. And then, you know, if you'll notice all your account. However, if you put your money in the cryptocurrency, government cannot detect your money. See?
Yeah.
This is what American promise. So America will very destroy this world. Sure. I don't know. This is what you call as a propaganda, right? One kind of propaganda is Bitcoin. How to destroy new generation? Just launch the Bitcoin. Then everyone see one of who call it Timothy Ronald. In Indonesia, we have young
people,
young billion
young investor.
cryptocurrency influencer. He said what? Every day, million transaction he made. So now he has what? How many? He's very rich, you know.
Kita beli satu tem pokoknya.
Yeah, when he invited to have a talk in another province, he not use flight. He used helicopter from Jakarta to Yogyakarta to everywhere.
Wow, aku pengen.
No. See, that is why he said, you wanna like me? Just invest in cryptocurrency. Sure. This is what you call as a propaganda from America through Timothy Ronald. He's a Chinese actually, he's not Muslim, so he don't care. He don't care about halal and haram. And then once people think about the interest, he said, this is haram. I said, and you said this is haram and halal, even you don't know what is halal and haram. Okay, thank you very much for today. Jadi topik apapun bisa kalian tulis. So you can write any topics. Then if you confused, you can discuss. Okay, not now. I'm finished. Since morning, I thought since morning I lost my voice. Okay, maybe besok.
Besok online mau Zoom atau mau
Terserah.
video aja, video call.
Ya boleh.
Uh,
Ya boleh. Apa yang mau didiskusikan? Ya udah send to me your paper. Then apa yang mau diiniin bilang aja. And then we will discuss. I have to read first. Okay? And then we will discuss. What about you, Anwar?
This week I didn't do anything.
Excellent.
Paper is right.
Okay, have you read it? Have you read it?
This
Okay.
week I still do research. I'm just stressed.
I know, because I was in master degree too. Okay.
because we have four paper.
Wallpaper. So that is why I say to you, not push yourself one by one. Do it one by one. Then how to work with your assignments, you have to put in the, what you call it, timetable. Made it timetable because why? The most important, you have to sleep. If you don't sleep, you will you will lose everything. Because if you not sleep, you lost everything. So that is why you have to make a timetable when have to finish this assignment, and this assignment based on the deadline. Put in the which one is the closest deadline. You have to do it first, and then the second, and then the third. I mean, you have to finish within how many days, and how many days. And then work how to work the assignments. Put it the first thing, first of everything is collecting the resource. If you collect the resource and you read the resource well, so you can catch up what I have to do. Surely, because this is my mistake previously. I don't want you repeat my mistake. Because why I don't have timetable at that time.
Oh,
I made mistake. You know, when I made mistake, then suddenly I work based on the deadline. Oh, mepet. Yeah, work based on the deadline. This is very wrong. But if you have a timetable, you will work.
Itu gimana cara buatnya Bu Tenda dulu?
Ya kamu yang tahu lah waktu kamu.
Misalnya nih, kita untuk semester ini ada empat paper. Berarti
4 subjek. How many subject?
hanya 3, 2 ibu sama satu Pak Dimas
Risk management.
ya.
Oke. Terus?
Waktu itu dibuatnya.
Kok ada 4 assignment?
Iya, Pak Dimas minta 2.
Siapa? Pak Imam.
Pak Dimas minta 2.
Oh my God. Okay.
Pak Dimas have
Okay. Okay, I give you solution. I give you solution. This is 4 paper from 3 subject.
Ya, tolong.
From 3 subject.
Ya.
Ini 1 subject and then these 2 subject. Okay.
Ya.
Now I give you solution.
Tolong.
Pak Dimas, this is talking about the risk management, right?
Ya.
So why you not put as a risk management for these 2 subject? Meaning to say you just work for 2 paper only. Karena ini kan 2. Ya, ini berkenaan dengan ini berkenaan dengan ini. Tapi bicara tentang risk semua. So, let's say wakaf risk mitigation for wakaf assets. See? 1 subject, you have to throw 1 stone for 2. Throw 1 stone for 2 suspect, 2 target. Okay? Jadi melempar 1 batu untuk 2 target. Jadi wakaf dapat. Ngerjain tugas wakaf bisa. Tugas apa namanya? resiko mitigasi resiko tadi juga dapat.
Cuman
Berarti
etik.
ada dua nih. Nah, yang satu lagi terserah, misalnya kayak tadi mudharabah. Let's say we talking about mudharabah. So we just talking about market risk, let's say. Market risk and then the impact to the mudharabah contract. Bisa kan? So there is only 2 paper. You can submit to Dr. Dimas 2 paper and then submit to me within the same topic 2 papers. Nggak apa-apa, boleh. Boleh untuk tugas saya submit juga. Jadi Pak Dimas dan saya. What about the publishing? Yeah, you have to put your lecture name, right?
Jadi saya Pak Dimas Yuli gitu.
Iya, jadi 3. Jadi penulisnya jadi 3.
Ya.
Paham? Ada yang mau ditanyain Mbak Fauzia? Mbak Hilma? Udah. Jadi cari akal gimana caranya dari 4 tugas yang ditulis cuma 2 paper. You have to think first. Within 4 papers, you had only write 2 papers. Sorry, 4 assignment, you only have to write 2 papers. Can you do it?
Yeah.
Mereka nggak bisa begini. Dari 4 tugas, hanya mengerjakan 2 tugas. Nah, untuk begini si Ridwan nggak bisa. Oke, goodbye. See you insya Oke, kalian bisa langsung WA saya kalau mau apa namanya, mau diskusi ya. Wakaf mitigation, maybe there will paper already, published already ya. Wakaf mitigasi wakaf. Masih cari mitigasi.
Saya harus ngulang lagi berarti. Aduh. Saya baru tahu boleh.
Ya itu kan karena saya. This is my what you call it. This is my sedekah, you know.
Siap, Bu.
Okay.
Ya.
See, minimizing risk and maximizing benefits. There is paper nih. Minimizing risk and maximizing benefit. Risk management, blah, 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 blah. Implementation of risk management in wakaf. Strategi risk management, wakaf management.
Masalahnya Bu,
For financing climate change mitigation. Oke. Oke ya, udah ya. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Mereka udah kabur tuh nggak? Belum ditutup juga. Masya Allah, bujang-bujang ini. Udah ya. Assalamualaikum. Tutupnya gimana ini?